Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. There's been more things that I've updated in the press that I'm going to update you on now. This is about Emil Forsberg, the current player from RP Leipzig. He is a current winger, and reportedly Manchester United could consider making a move for him maybe in January. As we all know, Jose Mourinho's got quite a few players on his current radar, and now reportedly Emil Forsberg is a potential target for Jose Mourinho, because Jose Mourinho has reportedly been monitoring the player very, very closely, because he watched Emil Forsberg in action during Sweden's game with Italy. Sweden won the game by a goal to nil, but reportedly Jose Mourinho has been watching the player closely. He is still under contract. He's now, I think this is second or third season process now of RP Leipzig, because he is under contract with them until 2022. Is the player as well. Till 2022 is the player as well. He's also been voted Swedish Midfielder of the Year in 2014 and 2016. I think there'd been rumours about this in the August window. RP Leipzig may not be willing to currently offload the player though in the current process, because RP Leipzig have already lost one of their key players, Naby Keita. They've lost him to Liverpool. Liverpool have paid a 48 million release. It's a 48 million release clause. Liverpool have paid a premium towards this as well. So RP Leipzig may not be willing to offload the current player. But yes, he's under contract to 2022. And, also, he shares the same agent as Victor Lindelof does, Emil Forsberg as well. He shares the same agent as Victor Lindelof. Victor Lindelof has failed to make an impact so far at Manchester United, as we all know, because we got him for £30 million from Benfica as well. But he is a winger, is Emil Forsberg, and I think he can dramatically, improve Manchester United. He has got a good pedigree, and Jose Mourinho is desperate to get a winger in the January transfer window as well, because that's the play. We need a winger, because we know someone that's got good physical attributes. We need a good player that can put balls into the box, and Emily Forsberg, would be very, very good, because, he risen up the youth system, as we all know, with Sunsville, as we all know. He joined the first team in 2009, as we all know there. And, he played several matches in his first season with Sunville as well. Did the current player become more of a regular, he became more of a regular in his second season, where he played 30 out of 30 matches in 2010 season. And, in 2011 season, he scored 11 goals in 27 matches, as I said. So I'm just giving you a bit of information about him. And, he's been at Malmo before as well. He was at Malmo in... Yeah, he was at Malmo in 2015. So he'd been at Malmo... quite a few years as well in the current process. Yeah, he signed a 4-year contract that lasted until the end of 2016. In his first season, he played 28 matches out of 30, scored 5 goals. And he also won the league title with them. He also won the league title. He also played all matches for the club during the qualification stage for the 2013-14 UEFA European League, and scored 2 goals during Malmo's success 2014 season. Forsberg made 29 Premier League appearances, scoring 14 goals and being an important part in the team, and defended the title, blah blah blah. And in the Champions League campaign with Malmo, qualified for the group stage, as I said. And now he's at RP Leipzig, as I said, in September 2017, because RP Leipzig last season did qualify for the RP Leipzig qualified for the Champions League for the first time in their history. Did RP Leipzig as well, and and he scored his first ever Champions League goal in the first match against Monaco as well. Did the current player in the current process as well. So yeah, very, very good player. Reportedly, he's been updated in the press, but reportedly the player Emil Forsberg has reacted to these rumours, and he's basically suggested out he's still focused on RP Leipzig as a player, and he's suggested out he's still fully committed to RP Leipzig as well. So he has played down the rumours, linking him with a move to Old Trafford as the current player. But yes, as I said, he does share the same agent as Victor Lindelof, and for RP Leipzig, he's made 85 appearances, he's scored 16 goals. I think that's just in the league. But yeah, a very, very good player indeed of what I've seen of him. And he scored his first ever Champions League goal against Monaco, as I said. So he dramatically improved Manchester United. So could Manchester United possibly, get a deal over the line for him in January? But I can't see RP Leipzig willing to do any business. I can't see RP Leipzig willing to do any business in the current process, guys. That's the bigger latest news about that. Also, as I said, he's not the only player that's being mentioned for RP Leipzig. We know Timo Werner has been mentioned as well, and there's been quite a few teams that have been interested in Timo Werner from RP Leipzig as well, because he's a fantastic young age prospect. He scored 21 goals in 32 appearances last season for the club. He was a key player, as well as Emil Forsberg. He was a key player that made RP Leipzig qualify for the first time in the club's history as well. But as I said about Timo Werner, he's been at Stuttgart before, hadn't he? He made his Stuttgart debut in the Europa League at just the age of 17, so very, very young. And he made his first Bundesliga appearance. He made his first Bundesliga appearance against Bayer Leverkusen, scored his first goal against Frankfurt, became the youngest player during his time to make 50 appearances there. 18, he signed a professional contract with Stuttgart until 2018, and then we know Stuttgart got relegated, and an RP Leipzig purchased him for £10 million. I think he's still under contract now until 2020 or 2021, if I am correct. I think this is his second season now in the process with RP Leipzig, but he did say he supported Manchester United as youngster, but there's also been quite a few teams monitoring him, as well as Emil Forsberg as well in the current process. But there's been quite reportedly Man United could make a move for the player. As I said, he's a winger, very, very good winner by the looks of things. He's been voted Swedish midfielder of the year in 2014 and 2016 as a player. So yeah, we will see what happens in the process. But we know Jose Mourinho has got quite a few targets on his agenda. Now Emil Forsberg's the latest. He's got quite a few targets on his agenda. He's still in search for a left back, because it's been made clear we have to sell before we can buy. And, the news that we heard yesterday, I think it was about Marian Fellaini. He reportedly turned down a new offer of a contract at Manchester United, Fellaini. Reportedly, this new contract we offered Fellaini was £120,000 a week. Reportedly, Fellaini had turned this down in the current process as well. But Jose Mourinho will be desperate for Marian Fellaini to sign a new deal with the club, because he's a big admirer of the player. And he did fantastically well, did Marian Fellaini, as we all know, before he currently suffered that injury as well. He did fantastically well. But we know this is his fifth season in process. We know we purchased him for just over £27 million from Everton Football Club as well. He's made over 2 century appearances now in the Premier League, and without a doubt this is Fellaini's best season at Manchester United, as we all know. He did well in the Europa League last season in the final. He did well against Celta Vigo as well, but Fellaini's done well this season. But reportedly, and also it's saying Man United are not willing to offload him in January, so we could lose Fellaini on a free transfer next summer in the process, because he has turned a new offer down from Manchester United. Man United, I think, are still in the process of trying to secure Marian Fellaini a new deal. I think he did say we have the option before to put a 1-year extension on his contract as well. But we know that Besiktas and Galatasaray have been interested in Fellaini, but Jose Mourinho blocked Fellaini making a move to Galatasaray back in August as well, because Jose Mourinho is still a big admirer of the player. But if he doesn't sign a new deal, and we're not prepared to cash in for him in January, we could lose him on a free next summer. Jose Mourinho does have a good relationship with Marian Fellaini, as we all know, guys, as well in the process. So so he is coming to an end of his deal as well as Marian Fellaini, so we could lose him on a free next summer. And as we all know, with the same, as I said, Jose Mourinho's still looking for replacements in the team. Possibly, Manchester United could get Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid, as I said the other day. Reportedly, the Atletico Madrid midfielder can play as a dynamic box-to-box midfield, as I said, very, very skillful. He's very, very good indeed, and reportedly, he did say he wanted to make a move to Manchester United, but we know he has a release clause of £133 million. He signed a new 9-year deal back in 2017 this year in July, and he signed a 9-year contract as well. But does look a very, very good player, as I said, in the current process. He does look a very, very good player, does the current player. But reportedly, he did say, if Man United are to get the pursuit of what's his name now? What's his name? I've bloody forgot his name. Oh, Neil. I can't remember his name, but if we were to get the pursuit of the the Atletico Madrid midfielder. Then he did say Atletico Madrid are willing to go for Mesut Ozil in January, because that's another potential Manchester United target as well, because Jose Mourinho showed an interest in him as well. But reportedly Atletico Madrid could go for Ozil in January if we do get the pursuit of Saul Niguez, that's his name, I've just remembered. But Atletico Madrid reportedly, showed interest in Ozil. Reportedly come out the other day that Atletico Madrid have been in contact with Ozil regarding possibly him making a return back to Spain. They've been in contact. Atletico Madrid have been in contact with Mesut Ozil in the situation, and reportedly, it said Atletico Madrid are willing to offer him a sign-on fee, and they're willing to offer him a wage of around over £200,000 a week, even though he's been demanding a higher wage increase from Arsenal as well as Mesut Ozil. But he did say about 3 or 4 weeks ago, he reportedly told teammates he does want to join Manchester United. He is a very, very good number 10, he's Ozil, but he did say Arsenal are willing to offload him for £30 million in January as well. They're willing to offload him £30 million in January, but Ozil said he's still fully focused on Arsenal, and he did say if he's to sign a new deal, he's demanding Jack Wilshere's number 10 shirt, because he also is coming to an end of his deal as Jack Wilshere, and he could be set to leave on a free transfer next summer if he doesn't sign a new deal either. But this is what Ozil has been demanding, but as I said in the process, it's confirmed that the contract talks have stalled in the current process between Arsenal, the club and his representatives. He's also been demanding a higher wage increase, and he can create chances, he can provide assists, he's distinctive in his play, he's creative, he's Mesut Ozil in the current process. And it was also in Bundesliga for 5 years as well, and Arsenal paid £42.5 million for him from Real Madrid, and he was fantastic with Jose Mourinho at Real Madrid, and Mourinho's maybe looking to reunite with the player as well. But I said Arsenal would rather cash in for him rather than letting go on a free next summer as well. But reportedly Atletico Madrid have reportedly been interested, but saying going on about Jack Wilshere as well. Just to update on Jack Wilshere, reportedly, Arsene Wenger is convinced and he's hoping that Jack Wilshere is to sign a new deal with Arsenal before the January transfer window. But in the process, it has confirmed that Arsenal have not yet been in talks over securing Jack Wilshere a new deal with the club, with Arsenal Football Club, because we know Jack Wilshere is coming to an end of his deal and he's currently earning about £90,000 a week. So he's in the final year of his contract, is Jack Wilshere. But reportedly now Real Betis, the current Spanish club, reportedly have showed an interest in Jack Wilshere. Reportedly they are maybe convinced, Real Betis, that they can go on and get Jack Wilshere on a free transfer next summer. So see out his deal, and then Real Betis make a move for him next summer on a free transfer if Jack Wilshere doesn't sign a new deal with Arsenal as well. But it's reported that Real Betis have reportedly been in negotiations with Wilshere and his current representatives over making a potential move for him next summer when he becomes a free transfer. But Arsenal will hope he can secure a new deal. But we know he's been at Arsenal 16 years now as Jack Wilshere. He reasoned up the ranks fantastically well. Reasoned up the Arsenal youth system fantastically well. Before that, he was at Luton Town, was Jack Wilshere. And then he went to Arsenal in October 2001. He's risen up the ranks very, very well. He's been at Arsenal now 16, 17 years in the process. We know he's been on loan at Bournemouth and Bolton. Last season was on loan at Bournemouth, where he made 27 appearances. I think he'd been injured, was it, last season as well. But as I say, risen up the youth system very, very well. Become Arsenal's youngest league debut, and as we all know, in 2008 against Blackburn. Just the age of 16, and become Arsenal's youngest player to play in European competition. Also at the age of 16. Also, as well, did very, very well in the FA Youth Cup, scoring in the final against Liverpool, getting a few assists as well in the semi, and scoring a couple of goals as well. And, he made his England senior debut against Hungary as well, did Jack Wilshere. But his goal is strong, his versatility is good, his contribution in his play is good, he's distinctive in his play. Very, very good indeed is Jack Wilshere. Arsenal still, even though he hasn't had enough game time this season, Arsenal will still want to secure a new deal. So he's another player that's coming to an end of his deal with Arsenal Football Club. And as I said, obviously Arsenal are right now replacements, and you've got Alexis Sanchez, in the current process. It looks like definitely Alexis Sanchez is going to go, because we know he's refusing to sign a new deal. Some press reports saying Alexis Sanchez should actually join Manchester United, but I don't think he will somehow. I think Manchester City are still emerging front runners. We know a lot of teams have been interested in Alexis Sanchez, and he's been demanding a higher wage increase from Arsenal. As well as Alexis Sanchez, but I think he'd be good. I'd love Alexis Sanchez. Can play attacking mid, can play on each flank, can play in the middle as well. Can Alexis Sanchez, and he is a very, very good number 7 indeed. As we all know, he's Alexis Sanchez in the process, but skillful, good in the air. As we all know, he's Alexis Sanchez, and he's definitely made over his century appearances now for Arsenal Football Club. This is his 4th season in the process now of Arsenal. Arsenal paid £35 million for him from Barcelona, and Pep Guardiola's keen on reuniting with the player because they were fantastic together at Barcelona. In his last season with Barcelona, he scored 21 goals. He's won 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons with Arsenal as a player. Without a doubt, Arsenal's best player, as I said. And 3 FA Cups all season, on 2 occasions he scored in the FA Cup final as well for Arsenal. But he just demanded in the window in August, he wanted Champions League footballer, did Alexis Sanchez. So I still think he's going to go to Man City, but City could still wait until next summer, go on and get him on a free transfer, or may pay 20 or 30 million pound for him in January. But as we all know, as I do keep saying, and Sanchez has been under knees with a plate and Coca-Cola and stuff like that, made his international debut in 2006. But as I'm saying, Arsenal could have cashed 50-60 million pound in, but obviously Arsenal couldn't find that current replacement, so it never materialised in the current process for Sanchez. But reportedly, Arsenal eyed quite a few replacements. Sterling's been mentioned again, so reportedly Arsenal could consider potentially, renegotiating with Manchester City, in January over the potential swap deal, Raheem Sterling to Arsenal, Sanchez to Manchester City, because there were talks about that swap deal back in the August window, Sterling and Sanchez exchanging, going opposite directions, but it never materialised because Arsenal were keen on it, and I think Arsene Wenger is still keen on maybe doing it in January, but obviously City were reluctant and were resisted to offload Raheem Sterling as part of the deal, and City were only keen on a cash-only deal for Sanchez, as I said in the process. But Sterling, City paid £49 million from Liverpool. This is his 3rd season in the process, and he's made a fantastic impact with the rest of the City team. City have got a lot of class players because, they spent a lot of money in the window. They got Aguero, Sterling, Gabriel Jesus and stuff like that, and got a quality team. They put a lot of money into that team, Manchester City. So, and they're looking to add Sanchez into their team in the January transfer window as well. But as I said, Arsenal would rather cash in rather than letting go free next summer. But as I said, it did come out in the press the other day. If you saw about it, come out in the press the other day that it did say basically that Arsenal had found their replacement because they were hoping to cash 30 million in for Ozil, cash about 20 or 30 million for Sanchez. And it did say Arsenal were closing in on a deal for the signing of Nabil Fekir from Lyon as well, because obviously it said Arsenal were willing to pay a club record fee of £60 million for Nabil Fekir as well, because he played attacking mid. He can play as a striker as well, can Nabil Fekir, and he's already scored 12 goals this season. His last season he scored 10 goals, 10 assists. He can create, he can score, he can provide assists as well, just like Ozil can provide assists as well. But he's a very, very good player, and he may be looking to reunite with Lacazette after they were fantastic together at Lacazette. And I think if Nabil Fekir was to make the move in January, he'd look a good partnership with Lacazette, because obviously Nabil Fekir can play at the front as well as an attacking midfielder as well. So his versatility is very, very good. But it says Arsenal were actually close on securing a deal for the player. But as I said, during the 2015-16 season, the player had missed the majority of his game time due to injury. But as I said, he raised up the ranks for Lyon very, very well. He got promoted into the senior team in 2013, so he's been in the senior team now quite a few years. He's been in the senior team. Made his international debut in 2015 for France as well. And he become more of a regular in Lyon's team in his 2nd season as well, did the current player. So, did say Arsenal the other day in the press were closing in on a deal for that as well in the current process. But, but as I'm saying, the main part of this video is about Emil Forsberg, as I said, from RP Leipzig. He's won he's been voted Swedish Midfielder of the Year in 2014 and 2016. He's currently now an RP Leipzig player. I think he's in his 2nd or he's in his third season now. He's the current player. Very, very good indeed. And he was the key player that helped RP Leesby qualify to the Champions League for the first time in their club history. But RP Leesby may be reluctant and resisted to offload the current player. He's a winger and he'd be very, very essential for us. Would him, because we looked at quite a few winners in August, didn't we? You know, even Perisic was one we didn't get. Even Perisic because wasn't willing to pay the £48 million. You know, Bale, you know, has been on our agenda, but I don't think Mourinho's no longer interested. Even though it actually suggested the other day that Real Madrid had lowered the asking price to £62 million. But yeah, I think Emil Forsberg would be good. As I said, you know, he looks a very, very good player to me. He does share the same agent with Victor Lindelof, as I said. He did say, you know, he's played down these rumours because he's still fully focused on RP Leesby. And he did say, no, Jose Mourinho has been, you know, closely monitoring the player because he watched him in action in international, you know, with Sweden and Italy. He watched him during there as well. And he was impressed, I think, with Mourinho by his performances. So he could make a move for him in January. But he's under contract with RP Leesby until 2022 as well, is the current player. So that's the main breaking news about this video as well. And as we all know, Jose Mourinho, you know, still in search for the current left back, as we all know. You know, we've had a few left-backs mentioned because we know Luke Shaw did say the other day in the press Man United are willing to offload Luke Shaw for 20 million in January. But I think that would be, you know, beneficial because, you know, for a player that this is his fourth season now in the process at Old Trafford is Luke Shaw. We paid £29 million for him Southampton. You know, he reasoned the youth system fantastically well. Made his England senior debut in 2014 as well. But I think it'd be beneficial, you know, for the player, you know, that's hardly played. He's only played 32 times since he's come to Man U. Also known for injuries as well, Luke Shaw. So I think cashing in £20 million not so bad, but some United fans would feel he's worth more than £20 million. Not in my opinion, if you ask me. But these reportedly said Chelsea and Arsenal have reportedly been interested in Luke Shaw. It's also mentioned Tottenham. Luke Shaw may be keen on reuniting with Pochettino. You know, if they were fantastic together at Southampton, as well in the current process. But yeah, we know Luke Shaw is still under contract with Manchester United until 2019 and that option, that 1 year extension. But we know now at Manchester United his fourth and fifth choice left back is Luke Shaw, and we know he received a lot of criticism off Jose Mourinho last season especially, and he did say he feels his career could be over after a fallout with Jose Mourinho, Luke Shaw as well, and he hasn't played in the Premier League at all this season as well. So Jose Mourinho, you know, will be eyeing out replacements definitely for Luke Shaw as well in the process. He's looked at quite a few left backs. We've been interested in Celtic's Kieran Turner, who's signed for Celtic at 7 years old, and he's risen up the ranks fantastically well with Celtic. Made 18 appearances in Scotland, made in Saturday in 2016. And, you know, he made his senior competitive debut in April 2015. 2015-16, he was injured as well, so he's been injured before. And he's now, I think he's now captain in Celtic, if I am right, he's Kieran Turner. But a fantastic bright prospect, as I said, so Mourinho's looked into him. Also, Tottenham have looked into him as well. Danny Rose, but Celtic, I don't think I'll offload him. You know, Danny Rose, I think he still could be the favoured player to go on and replace Luke Shaw at Old Trafford. I think Danny Rose could be the favoured because he's under contract throughout 2021, won the PFA, and he did criticise Tottenham for their lack of investment in the window, and he did say, you know, he doesn't want to play football 15 years without one trophy or one medal, Danny Rose. And he did say he was willing to turn Chelsea down to make a move to Old Trafford, Danny Rose as well. But we know he's been at Tottenham 10 years, as I said, as Danny Rose. You know, obviously we know he began his career with Leeds. He's now made over century appearances as well. And he's been at quite a few teams on loan as well as Danny Rose as well in the process. So I think, you know, he could be still potentially, you know, favoured to go on and replace Luke Shaw. If Man U do sell him in January for 20 million, or we could even loan him out in January, I'm not really quite sure in the current process. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the current process. But yeah, so really, the main part of this video, guys, is about Emil Forsberg, as I do keep saying. He's won Swedish Midfielder of the Year in 2015 and 2016. He's an RP League's big player. I think he's been there 2 or 3 seasons now. He's an ex-Malmo player, as I said. Did very, very well with Malmo, didn't he? I think, you know, the internet's gone off. Yeah, he did very, very well with Malmo, did the player. But reportedly, yes, he has got a contract until 2022. Reportedly, Manchester United, Jose Mourinho's he's been keeping a close eye out on the player. Reportedly, and he did say though, did the current player Emil Forsberg, he is currently fully focused on RP Leesebig is the player, but he does share the same agent as Victor Lindelof, one of our summer signings. But we will see what happens about that. But he's totally dispelled him, if anywhere, as a player. And he said he's focused on RP Leesebig. But obviously, when RP Leesebig have already lost Naby Keita as well in the process. So, anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes, below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take it easy, guys, and I'll see you all later on. Bye.